What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to, I don't even know what number it would be for a vlog for All About Status. It's been that long. I made mention in my recent video that I did on X-Plane that I would do a vlog and do a bit of a tour about what I've been doing probably in the last 12 months. As you saw in the intro, basically we're in a little tool shed. When I moved in with my now wife, we had a shed in the backyard that was more of a storage area for some branches. It was pretty haphazard, but I saw potential with it. And it has power, has lighting and that. No windows, and for the last 12 months or so, I've been, I guess, decking it out, learning a bit of craft too. I've never done any sort of woodworking or DIY really. I've never been that sort of type of person, but it does run in my genes, so it must be coming out of me in my mid-30s. So I want to give you a bit of a tour and yeah, just I guess catch up. Focus. Yes, here we go. So the first part of the shed that I did after giving it a complete clean out, I wish I had photos, it's a little bit frustrating, was I built some racks or hooks for the garden equipment, because we do a lot of gardening in the backyard. It's pretty tight over here, so I'll just show you. So basically I did all that. We have so many garden tools, and I thought that some nice hooks would make it a bit neat and tidy. I spared no expense on that. So basically just your pieces of wood from Bunnings for about $4, and the hooks I think was a pack for maybe about 5 or 6, maybe a bit less actually. So I just did that. And that's sort of like our little gardening section. Behind me, just got all our sort of different, I guess, garden sort of liquids and stuff. Car equipment down there for coolant and oil, and a jerry can. And we got some paint trays down there as well. Wheelbarrow, that's always handy. That was another neat little trick that I did. Just thought I'd use all the little gardening tools. And this shelf here was one of the first shelves that I bought for this shed. And just mounted some MDF board on it, and just created some little hooks. Ends up being quite handy and really neat and tidy as well. Now over to one of the favourite parts of this shed is my woodworking area. I've really taken a liking to woodworking. Started off, which I'll show you the other tools a bit later, just with a jigsaw and a few things. Watched my father-in-law do a few things with a jigsaw. I was so ignorant when I was younger about woodworking and all the different tools and that. I think every time I go down to Bunnings, I'm always buying a couple of pieces of wood, thinking of all these different projects that I can work on. So I thought behind me I would add to this shelf and make like a bit of a wood rack or hooking system. It's worked out quite well, so I've just got all my wood on there, and also another one back here with just all my sort of MDF and larger boards. Any sort of scrap is dizzy underneath there, so I've got plenty of wood, but just a nice sort of neat little nook for it. As you can see, power and light back there as well, which I've hooked up to the actual workbench, which I'll show you shortly. Definitely my favourite tool in the workshop is the compound miter saw. So it does the whole slide action. It's very hard. I've actually got two torn ligaments in my hand at the moment, so I haven't been using it for the last week or so, and nor can I really show you what it does, which I'll show in a later video if everyone's interested. It cuts all the pieces of wood, does different angles and stuff like that. So from Ozito, I think it only cost me about 169, I think, from memory. It's got a laser guide as well, which is fantastic. And yeah, really handy for some of the projects that I've been working on. As you can see, I've got another hook there. I'm a big fan of hooks and organisation. That's just for the extension cords that I've got in the shed, but really cool. Behind me is also just like a, actually don't know what that is. Behind me is a bit of a cork board. I took that off of an original tool bench that I got from Bunnings, but I didn't really like it. It was very wobbly, so I salvaged that bit from that and put it up on the wall here, just mainly for the extension cord and the extension board down there, and also just to hang up any sort of schematics for anything I've been building, such as a bird box, which I did recently. And it's also got a trace for something, because I've been making some cheese boards and burning into the wood, which I'll show you shortly. As I've said for about the third time now, I'm a big fan of organisation. Just my usual tools, or the tools that I would use more regularly, I've just got up there on a piece of MDF, just all organised, including all your spanners and your hammer and everything else. So behind me is some shelves. Again, I salvaged from the small tool bench that I had originally. Just pulled it apart and basically used what I could, and got some nice shelves, which as you can see, has all my clamps and screwdrivers, etc. on. Half of this shed itself, which is the best thing about it, has cost me next to nothing to get set up. So I guess if anything, this is an encouragement for anyone out there that wants to have a bit of a DIY, a bit of a man cave. Not that this is a man cave or anything like that. That it can be inexpensive. So let's continue. Taking a seat on the shed chair here. So basically, with the two benches that you just saw, I saw them at Stratco, believe it or not, and they were $99 each, a lot more sturdier, and I just enjoyed them. Got one to start off with, but then I thought I'll go with two. So the two just gives me plenty of space to work on. Got the bench grinder there. That's one tool that I always remember from childhood, my dad always using, so very inexpensive. Again, Ozito, I think it was about $30, and done a few little bits and pieces with it, but more projects I'll use it down the track. See what I just showed you, plenty of power around, which is just linked up to two main power switches. I built this little thing behind me with some MDF. Made a little shelf just to put pens and pencils on, and a Stanley knife or anything like that. And the other tools that you saw, I've got myself two drills. Didn't understand much about drills. I know what they do, but this one here obviously is an impact driver. This has been really handy. Again, Ozito, of course, and use the battery from my whippersnipper, which I got for my birthday. This one here is the oldest oldest tool I've had. I've had this for I think about 10 years. It's just my Black & Decker hammer drill / everything else drill, I guess you can say. Had that for a long time now. Obviously a good product that's lasted a long time, and it's been really handy. So two drills, pretty cool. That one there I'm not really a big fan of. It's sort of a bit of a, we'll just skip that one, but it's from Ozito. That little thing down there is a engraver / I guess even a soldering iron, but what I use it for is wood burning. It's a part of a lot of the projects that I've been working on. Made a little crate for my nephew for his first birthday, like a little wooden sort of crate to put his toys in. Made a name plaque on it, and it looked fantastic with the wood burning. I think I've got a project here I can show you. This is hard with one hand. So that's a cheese board that I created. It's one of the first projects I sort of worked on with limited tools at the time. But as you can see, the wood burning and that, it's quite fun to do, and it's quite simple. Anyone can do it. So I just made a logo on Photoshop, transferred it onto some tracing paper, and I guess it's sort of like getting a tattoo, really. It's just a matter of tracing it on, and then I just started burning. But yeah, good fun, and one of my favourite things to do in the shed. Back here, it's got two more shelves. I've got all your screws and nuts and bolts, etc. That you need. Some extra screws and nails down here. That's my toolbox when my mum asked me to do something back at her place, or if I need to take it anywhere. Any of my tools, that's a toolbox, obviously. Extra hooks, as you can see, I'm a bit of a fan of hooks. I've got a radio back here because I love listening to talkback. I'm probably one of the only people in my 30s that do. I cop a lot of shit about it all the time. Down here I've got we got the sandpaper and sanding discs, sanding pads for my sanders. We've got some tin and rope, Velcro for strapping up cables, empty container. I've got clamps here, so just little sort of hook clamps, not sure what they're called. You got your batteries, all my safety gear, which is essential, including gloves and earpieces and eyewear and all that sort of stuff. Behind me is the one part that still frustrates me. It's all my camping gear or any sort of recreation gear. Unfortunately, it has to be in here. So just got all my sort of camping gear, I guess. Got a blower sucker over here. That's a Ryobi. That's the only Ryobi product I actually have. Mounted my bikes up back here, so just out the way. We don't use the bikes too much because we both got two smaller cars and it's too hilly where we live. That's my Weber. I love that thing. And behind me is probably the most recent addition to the shed. I've just made a board for all my power tools here. Very, very simple. I looked at some complicated sort of ways of doing it online, but stuck with just something that I thought would be very basic. So I got my Zito drill press, which was $99 from Bunnings, and has worked really well. Really enjoy it, I have no problems with it. I know I've seen some bad reviews online, but it serves its purpose for me. You saw the bench vise down there. That was another thing that I bought when I first got this sort of shed set up. It's been handy, a little bit annoying, and that's the original Bunnings tool bench that I was talking about before, so it's pretty flimsy now. It just sits with the drill press, etc. As you can see, I sit all my drill bits all up there in little cases and stuff. I'm actually doing a lot of projects at the moment. I can sort of show you a bit of an idea of what I've been doing. This will be a tea light candle holder that I've been making. I won't show you too much because it's not finished yet. So just working on that, so that's why the big hole saws come in handy. Up here we've got your circular saw, random orbital sander, your normal sort of a sander, angle grinder, jigsaw and reciprocating saw, which is so handy for cutting firewood. And down below, which you can see, I've just got a drawer with mainly all the paperwork and warranty and that from Zito. I think that's pretty much what I've got in there, and I've got my two horses. Thanks for having a look at my shed, guys. So pretty basic, but just a good little shed to work on. As I said, this has been something I've been doing for about 12 months, so I thought I'd share it with you guys online. One thing you haven't seen inside the shed, but it's outside, is my weather station. So that's been very handy. It gets like a little digital device that's inside that sits on our fridge, and we can find out what's going on outside with wind and rain and temperatures, etc. Really handy. Great shed. I hope this inspires any of you guys out there from Australia mainly that want to have your own little shed. As I said, I've spent next to nothing on this one and got myself a nice little place to work on my hobbies. If you have any questions or sort of feedback, or let me know what you think, and leave some comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's an entertainment channel, so everything everything's free for all, so there can be gaming, there might be more vlogs. I might even bring you out in the shed and show you how I make a cheese board or how I make a candle holder. We'll see how we go. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.